Okay, so I wanted to make a video talking about the different DCU projects that are coming out, particularly in this year, 2026. I wanted to talk about the movies and TV shows that are coming out this year and give my thoughts and opinions, or basically breaking down everything we know about, the movies and TV shows, and also, giving my thoughts and opinions on what we know so far and just the trailers and all the, information that we have on these projects. So that's what this video is going to be, me going over every single DCU project that's coming out this year and talking about it and giving my opinion on it. And so, without further ado, I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's get straight into the video. Okay, so the first project that I wanted to talk about is actually a movie, and it comes out, I think next week it comes out, so it's actually pretty close to release. But the movie that I'm talking about, and it's the first DCU project of this year, is Supergirl. Supergirl is coming out, I think, June, I want to say 26th. I do plan to go and see it, and I do want to make a video talking about it. I might even do I think I will do a review for Supergirl. But yeah, I'm very interested. Excited. I don't know if I'm necessarily excited to. I don't know if I'm necessarily excited for the movie. I'm definitely I think there are definitely aspects of the movie that I'm excited for. Definitely. I mean, obviously seeing Supergirl. This is the first, or not the first actually, but I think it's the second live action adaptation of Supergirl, or this is the second time that Supergirl has gotten her own movie. I think the first time was back in the 1990s or the 80s or something like that, and it was notoriously known for being really bad. And so I'm pretty sure, this is going to be obviously objectively way better than that one that we had back then. But yeah, this is Supergirl. Last time that we saw Supergirl was, I think, in a post, or actually no, it wasn't in a post-credit scene. It was in the actual movie. I think it was, at the end of Superman, we got to see Supergirl, and she basically took Crypto with her. Crypto is her dog and everything, and this movie is going to be focusing on her, and primarily her and Crypto and their relationship together. But also, this is going to take place more in space. We're going to get more of a intergalactic feeling, or we're going to be getting a galactic, I guess, feeling of what the DCU is just in general. Lobo is going to be in this movie. Jason Momoa is playing Lobo. That is probably one of the key things that I'm excited about the most, probably, about this movie, is seeing Jason Momoa as Lobo. It always seemed like Jason Momoa really wanted to play Lobo, and it just seems like perfect casting. He played Aquaman, and I liked his Aquaman. I didn't really care that much for his version of Aquaman, to be honest with you. But yeah, him as Lobo looks really, really, really good. And basically, I feel like this movie is going to be dealing with Supergirl, and it's definitely going to be dealing with probably her PTSD from what happened on Krypton, and also the feeling of her having no one else, and only feeling like she only has Crypto in her life, and her probably, opening up to more, people like the other characters in the movie, and also her finding her I guess sense of heroism, or her becoming a superhero. And so so this movie is being based off the Woman of Tomorrow comic book, and I think one of the main things about that comic book that they're adapting into the movie is the focus on Crypto And in this movie, and they have it in the trailer, I think it's in the second trailer, the main villain of this movie, which I think his name is Krem, and I don't know a lot about this character. I know he's the main villain of this movie, but also I'm pretty sure they kind of look like space pirates. I could be wrong, but that's kind of the vibe that they're giving off. But apparently Krem, he is the main villain of this movie, and he is going to he's basically is the person who is like responsible for Crypto. You know, he like shoots something at Crypto, and Crypto like ends up getting hurt, and like after that apparently he has like 3 days to live, and so that's why Supergirl has to go out and find these space pirates and get the antidote or something like that. But also this movie is going to Supergirl is gonna have like kind of like a, I wouldn't say sidekick, but like she's gonna have like a companion basically. And I think the character's name, she's also in the Woman of Tomorrow comic books as well, and I think the character's name is Ruthe, I think it's some Ruthe Marie Nall or something like that. But her character ties into the story with Supergirl because the main villain of the movie, Krem, is responsible for the death of her parents. And so that's how both of these characters, Supergirl and Ruthe, are going to come together or work together to, I guess, stop Krem. Or obviously Supergirl needs to get the antidote, but obviously they're going to form Supergirl and Ruthe are gonna probably form some sort of bond throughout the movie and everything, and so that's gonna be interesting to see. But yeah, definitely having Crypto be like the main emotional driving force of this movie is definitely I think it's a pretty cool thing to do. I mean, obviously Crypto, I mean, it's not cool that Crypto is like, hopefully he doesn't die or anything like that obviously, but like it is cool that they're having Crypto, because in the last movie Crypto, like, I liked Crypto in the last movie, even though I feel like there were some people who thought like Crypto was like annoying, but like I feel like he's supposed to be annoying on purpose. And also they explain that like Crypto is not Superman's dog, and so that's why he's so like crazy and he doesn't behave, because he's actually Kara's dog, and Kara seems more of like a you know, she's out partying all the time, and she's like getting drunk on like red suns, and so Supergirl is probably not the best trainer when it comes to Crypto, and so that's probably why he's the way that, or why the way that he acts probably is because of that. But yeah, the other thing is that like just from the look of the trailer, obviously this takes place in space, and this is gonna have galactic elements, and we're gonna be going to different planets and seeing different aliens and different types of people. I think one of the main concerns that people have, and I have kind of too, is that is this going to feel too much like Guardians of the Galaxy? Is this gonna feel like too much like Guardians of the Galaxy? Is this just gonna look too much just like Guardians of the Galaxy? Is it gonna have its own style and flavor of a, I don't know, galaxy? Or like, is it gonna feel, is it just not gonna feel like Guardians of the Galaxy, essentially, is like the concern. And obviously in the I think in some of the promotional stuff for this movie, Supergirl even has like a Walkman, and I mean that's a very similar thing to Star-Lord. Star-Lord had like a Walkman and had like these headphones, and it was tied to music and stuff like that. And so that is probably one of my only main concerns, is that like, is this gonna be like, is this movie gonna have like its own style? Is it gonna like, is it not gonna be like, oh, it's just Guardians of the Galaxy again, or like whatever, in terms of like the tone and like the different planets that we're gonna visit? I don't know, but I do think that like, I do think some of the scenes that I have seen, I mean, especially the main villain of the movie, Krem, he looks just stylistically just different and interesting. I mean, Lobo's in this movie, and Lobo is obviously a very, I mean, he literally just looks like a punk rock alien. I mean, he's like a bounty hunter too, and he's got like his own motorcycle and everything, and he looks cool. And so, and Supergirl, I mean, she has like the Supergirl costume, which is bright and vibrant and everything. I'm just interested to see, because definitely in like the comic books or the Woman of Tomorrow comic books, that comic book is very colorful. It has different like color, like, I mean, in terms of just like, yeah, the comic book is just very vibrant and colorful, just in contrast, I guess. But the stuff that I've seen for this movie in particular, it's a lot of like brownish, like in like kind of, not to say that this movie doesn't have color, but a lot of the different planets and areas that we've seen, there's not like a lot of like different color artistic styles going on, I guess is the term I'm trying to look for. And so looking at this movie, obviously this is Supergirl, and I mean, last year we had Superman, and that felt like a event, that felt like a cultural event. I mean, that was the first theatrical DCU film, and so it had a lot riding on it. And so going into Supergirl, it kind of feels like there's not as much excitement for this movie as it was for Superman, but like, I mean, this is I guess a newer character when it comes to like theatrical films. Like, we've only gotten like one other Supergirl film before, and it did really badly. And so I feel like this movie is probably not gonna make as much as Superman did, but like, if the movie is really good and everything, I feel like that's definitely, or if the movie's really good, then like word of mouth can like spread, and people are like, oh, that new Supergirl movie is really good, okay, I'll go check it out. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna see more of Krypton too, so we're gonna see how like Krypton was like, and obviously we're gonna see how it got destroyed and everything. But also, yeah, Superman's gonna be in this movie. I didn't see the clip, because I know there's I think there's like a clip online of like Superman and Kara like interacting for like the first time, or like something like that. I decided not to watch that clip, and I think there's also like a final trailer for this movie that I did not watch, and I'm choosing not to watch it because I do want to go into this movie with some surprises and some semblance of like not knowing everything, I guess. And so yeah, man, I'm definitely interested in this movie just in general, Supergirl. I hope it's good. I hope it's really good. But we'll just have to see when it comes out. I think June 26th, and so yeah. Okay, so moving on to a TV show, we have Lanterns. Now, Lanterns is very interesting because, I don't know, just looking at, when you look at Lanterns, in, I don't know, the two trailers that we've gotten and some of the images that we've gotten for this show, I guess, like, if you were to look at, like, I mean, especially the first trailer, but also just, like, the images that we've gotten. Obviously, we had that first initial image that we got, I think, like 1 or 2 years like back, of just Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan walking on like a road. And if you were to like walk up to like a Green Lantern fan or like anyone or comic book fan and ask them, oh, what is this an image of? People would have no idea that this is a Green Lantern TV show. And I feel like that's definitely one of the challenges I feel like this show has faced, especially with that first teaser that came out. I feel like there were a lot of people that did not like that teaser trailer. There's a lot of people being like, oh, there's not enough green, or yeah, there's not enough constructs or like green going on in the trailer. And I definitely agree. I definitely agreed with that, but like, there's also another part of me that was like, okay, obviously they're trying to do something different. Obviously they're trying to do something that we haven't seen before in I don't know, just like a superhero TV show just in general, I guess. But like, that was the first teaser trailer for the show, and so obviously they're not going to show everything that they have in the first teaser. And so obviously they want to keep surprises, and they want to keep things for the actual show when it comes out. And so I wasn't really surprised that they didn't have like, they weren't showing all the different scenes of them doing the constructs and everything, because they want to tease that. They want to build up to that, probably. I don't know. That's just my opinion. But obviously the second trailer people seem to enjoy more. I mean, it had more constructs, it had actual, like, you know, Hal Jordan like making constructs and stuff like that that looked cool and exciting. I mean, there was like one scene I think at the beginning of the trailer of like Hal Jordan like making like a counterfeit bill out of like one of the constructs, and like and Jon Stewart being like, "Did you just make a $20 counterfeit bill?" And Hal being like, "Yeah, I did." And so that looked cool. I mean, there's like a scene of Hal Jordan in like some type of diner, and like there's a bunch of people that come out to try and shoot him, and then he makes like a giant like sphere around him to protect himself. That looked cool. There's like another scene of him in like the small town, and it looked like he was just getting wrecked, and there's just like this giant like laser beams like focusing on the town, and he creates like a random shield to cover the city. And so the constructs looked good. I mean, especially for a TV show, I mean, the constructs look cool. I mean, there's some scenes of like Hal flying around that looked cool. And so far, I think the show looks good. I mean, just talking about the plot of the show, obviously this is centered around Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, and they're investigating like a mystery that's going on in like a small town. And apparently this mystery will tie back into the larger DCU as like a whole. And so that's really interesting. The relationship between Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart is probably the thing that I'm most interested in. Just looking at the trailers and everything and the back and forth that they've had so far, it definitely looks like it's gonna be interesting. Jon Stewart is like the new recruit, and Hal is like training him, but like Jon like sees like Hal as like a person who's like that hasn't necessarily earned being a Green Lantern. Like with Hal Jordan, obviously his whole backstory is that like there was like an alien, or there was like a Green Lantern that crashed on Earth, and Hal Jordan just so happened to be the only person who could receive the Green Lantern ring, and that's how he became Green Lantern and everything. And not saying that Hal Jordan didn't have to earn to be a Green Lantern, but obviously Jon Stewart is going through a lot more just to be a Green Lantern. So there's some sense of like resentment there between like him and Hal, and obviously there just seems to be like a lot of them just not getting along and like arguing, and so that's gonna be interesting. But a lot of people think that, like, I mean, because obviously Hal in this show is just really, he's just way older, and it seems like he's at the phase of his career where like he's at the point where he's closer to retirement at this point. It seems like it seems like he's been Green Lantern, or has been a Green Lantern for a while now, and some people think that Hal Jordan, because of all that and the way that they've been talking about Hal Jordan just in the show, it seems like people think that he's gonna end up dying in this show, or he's gonna end up retiring. And my personal opinion, I don't think he's gonna die. I mean, I feel like there is a higher possibility that he will die, just because that he is the older Green Lantern in the show and everything. But I feel like I don't know, like I feel like you don't want to just like you don't want to just like kill off a character like this, especially a iconic Green Lantern. I know Hal Jordan is like one of the Green Lanterns, like next to Jon Stewart and stuff like that, but like I feel like you just don't want to just kill off a character like that. I don't know, I could be completely wrong, but I feel like he's the type of character that maybe he just retires, and maybe we see him like pop up in like a Green Lantern project every once in a while, or like whatever. I don't know, I could be completely wrong on that. But yeah, apparently this show will take place in 2 time periods, and so apparently this show will take place in the year 2016 and 2026, and so both of those years will explore, I guess, different time periods of like what's going on in terms of like them solving the mystery, or like I don't know how that's gonna work, because I don't know how that's going to work, but that is something else that's also been talked about recently. But yeah, I mean, this show has also just been compared to like shows like True Detective and stuff like that, and so I am very interested to see how this is gonna shape up as like a crime show or like just a detective show. Like, how much are they going to stick with that? How much are they going to commit to that? Obviously, this is still going to be a Green Lantern show. There are some shots, especially in the second trailer, where they're going to like different planets. Apparently, Sinestro is supposed to be in this show, and so we are gonna get like galactic or intergalactic, you know, characters popping up in this show. I did also hear that Atrocitus could be in this show. I mean, Atrocitus is like the Red Lantern, but apparently Atrocitus is not gonna show up in like his regular form. He's gonna like show up in like a human form. I don't know how that's gonna work, but yeah, I mean, Lanterns is probably, in terms of like, I don't know, just different in like unique like superhero like projects. It's probably one of my most anticipated DCU projects of this year. And so yeah, man, I'm definitely interested to see more of Lanterns and everything. I feel like this show definitely does keep the promise of trying to do, I mean, that's definitely one of the things I liked about like the first trailer, and just the way that they're describing this trailer, or I mean this show. The fact that they are trying to do something different with, I mean, Green Lanterns just as a whole and everything has me interested. And so yeah, man, I definitely want to see more when it comes out. I think this show comes out August 16th, I believe. And so yeah, man, I definitely want to see more Lanterns, and I definitely will be talking about it on the channel when it comes out. And so yeah, and also I'm not really a fan of the suit. I know we've only seen like a few shots of like Hal in the Green Lantern suit, but like so far I'm not really a fan of it. That could change once I actually see the suit in motion in the show, maybe, but so far it's not really looking that good to me, but we'll just have to see. All right, so talking about the last DCU project that we have, Clayface. So Clayface comes out in September, I think, and this is probably when we talk about just like different and unique DCU projects, I feel like Clayface is a shining example of this. Clayface is apparently a body horror film, and just that one sentence alone has me hooked to see more of this movie just in general. We did get a teaser trailer recently, and I kind of wish that I talked about it when it actually came out. Obviously it's been out for a while now, and everyone else has talked about it, but I mean, the teaser trailer itself looked very, very good, I thought. Just the playing around with the idea, especially with a character like Clayface, and the different things that you can do with a character like that, it is very awesome that they chose to go a horror film route with a character like this. And I feel like with a lot of like just Batman's like rogues gallery, like there is like a potential for any one of like Batman's like villains to get their own spin-off movie or TV show. I mean, if you just look at like, I mean, obviously we had the Joker in 2019, but also just like I mean, shows like the Penguin TV show was like really, really good and everything. But a Clayface body horror film sounds particularly like really different and unique. I mean, just some of the shots that they had, I mean, just the first shot of him in the hospital bed, and I don't know if I'm the only one that felt like this when I first saw that trailer, or I saw that image of him in the hospital bed with like the bandages like wrapped around his face and everything, and with the one eyeball sticking out and everything. The first thing that came to my mind was that one game, Mouthwashing, with like the same like thing with like the guy in like the medical bed, and he's got the bandages wrapped around his face and everything. He looks super like messed up and everything. That's the first thing that I thought of. I don't know. But yeah, just that first shot of the trailer, it was just super disturbing and everything, and just seeing like flashbacks, like abrupt like flashbacks of him with like his normal face and everything, and that transitioning into like him obviously taking the chemical in order to, you know, get his face back because it gets heavily scarred. Obviously it looks like in the trailer it's gonna be probably some people that he owes money to, or is gonna be the mob that like mess up his face and everything, and that's how he's gonna eventually take some type of like medical drug or chemical to make his face look good again. And obviously that's gonna transition into him. I mean, I think there was like one shot in the trailer where like his face is just like melting and everything, and then you have like the one shot in the trailer, I think it's at the end of the trailer, where like he's just sitting in a bathtub and like he goes to wipe his face, but like when he wipes his face, like the skin just completely dissolves and it's just like a blank like canvas. Like that's like the best way that I can describe it. It looks super weird and crazy, but like in the in the best way possible. But yeah, I mean, this is gonna be also our first time seeing DCU Gotham, and so that's gonna in itself gonna be really good. I don't think, and I really hope that we don't, but I don't think we will. I don't think that we're gonna see Batman in this movie, and I feel like you don't need Batman in this movie. I mean, yeah, would it be cool and everything, but no, we don't need Batman. Clayface is the focus of this movie and should be the focus of the movie. And obviously if Batman was to show up, I mean, that's just gonna take away, I feel like, from the story and what they're trying to do with this movie just in general. Obviously Batman eventually is going to show up in the DCU eventually, but yeah, I don't want him to show up in this Clayface show. I mean, obviously, you know, we had the Penguin TV show, and at any point in that TV show they could have like done the whole thing of like, oh, we're gonna have Robert Pattinson come in for a scene or two just because it's connected to the Robert Pattinson Batman movie, but they ended up not doing that, and it made for a really good TV show that focused on the Penguin, and it was like, I mean, just one of the best TV shows just in general, not just like a comic book TV show or like anything. And so hopefully they do the same thing with Clayface, but this is being produced by Matt Reeves as well, and so I do have a lot of hope and just excitement for this movie just in general, and I think they're going to be able to pull off something very, very awesome and different. And so yeah, but yeah, I also don't think that this is going to be connected to Matt Reeves' version of Batman. I don't want it to. I don't want this to be. I want that to be in its own separate universe, in its own separate world. Please, let's keep these things separate. Just in my opinion, that's just how I feel. I know there are some people who want the two universes to merge or like whatever, but in my opinion, I just think stylistically, Matt Reeves's take on Gotham and just on Batman just in general is just so artistically different from, I feel like, what we're doing with the DCU, that it just, I feel like, in my opinion, it wouldn't work. And so, but yeah, man, Clayface looks really good. I talked about Lanterns, I talked about Supergirl. I don't think there are any other DCU projects coming out this year that I know of. Obviously next year we're getting Superman Man of Tomorrow, and there were some we have actually been getting like BTS or just like behind the scenes footage of that movie. I think we actually got to see, you know, Lex Luthor in his like battle like armor, and that looked really cool. I think there was like one behind the scenes image of just Superman like like wailing on Lex Luthor. I don't know the context of like why he's like beating on Lex Luthor like that. I mean, it's probably for a good reason. It's freaking Lex Luthor. He probably Lex Luthor probably did something to like piss off Superman in that moment. But Man of Tomorrow looks really good. Obviously in that movie we're gonna have Brainiac, and so that's gonna be really cool. And just like some of the characters that I talked about in this video, like Jon Stewart and I believe Supergirl, are going to appear in Man of Tomorrow, and so that movie is just gonna have a lot of characters just in general. Apparently we're also getting like a Blue Beetle animated show, and that's gonna be I think that's gonna be tied back into, I think, like the live action Blue Beetle movie that we had, and it's gonna be voiced by the same actor. I forget his name. I think it's like his name, Xolo Mataduena, I believe that's his name. And so he's gonna be coming back to voice Blue Beetle for that animated show. And I think there's some other projects. I think we're getting like a Mr. Miracle animated show. Eventually we're gonna get a Batman DCU show. Don't know, or not show, movie. Don't know when, but eventually that's gonna come. Paradise Lost, I think that's the Wonder Woman TV show, I think. And yeah, I mean, we're just getting a lot of DCU projects just in general in the future. But this year, yeah, we're getting Lanterns, Clayface, and Supergirl. And I am very interested and excited in all of these projects respectively. I feel like the DCU has, I mean, especially last year with, you know, Superman, Peacemaker, and Creature Commandos, I really feel like the DCU is starting off strong and in a good way. And I'm just glad this year in particular, all of the projects, or many of the projects, if not all of them, are being directed and handled by people that are not James Gunn. And don't get me wrong, I love James Gunn and everything, and he's great at making superhero movies and TV shows. But I mean, especially last year, I mean, we had 3 projects by James Gunn, and we're getting Man of Tomorrow next year, and that's going to be by him too. And so I definitely, this year, this is going to be a test to see whether or not projects that are not directed or are not directly by James Gunn, if they can succeed and everything. And so far it's looking like we're gonna be getting a lot of very interesting and different stuff this year. I mean, with Clayface and Lanterns and Supergirl. And so I'm very excited for the future of the DCU and just this year. And so yeah, man, I am done yapping for this video. In the comments down below, are you excited for any of the projects that I talked about in this video? Are you excited for Clayface? Are you excited for Supergirl? Are you excited for Lanterns? Or are you not excited for any of these projects and you're not liking how the DCU is going, I guess directional or wise, or like whatever? Leave all your thoughts and opinions down in the comment sections below. And yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, and I will see you guys on the next one. So yeah, bye.